Good morning. It's time for our total body core focus workout. We are going to do my workout for today, which I have not timed it because I'm going to do it with you. So I have been really trying to get stronger with my arms, my upper body, my lower body, including my core. So this is new. And if you want to do Mondays, it's very similar. But we've tweaked some things so that we can really just get stronger because we know our muscle tone is going down. If we don't use it, we're going to lose it. So we're going to work on that today. If you're needing core rehab, that's what I do. But you will have to get that in the 8-week core challenge. And that's something that if you are watching now and you're in my 8-week core challenge, listen up for some cues I'm going to give you so that we can integrate our deep core as we do this total body workout. But if you're needing help with that, just put ready down in the chat and I'll send you an automated message to give you some info on that. All right, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some push-ups. Now, if you are in my 8-week core challenge, I want you to do your pull-ins with these push-ups, okay? So you're going to do it at the level that you are comfortable in doing it in. Some of you are doing it on the wall. Some of us are on the counter. Some of us are down on the chair. Some of us are down on the floor. But you want to be able to do 8 of them properly, okay? So we go down. And as we go back up, I want you to do your pull-in, okay? And for those of you who are not in the 8-week core challenge, the pull-in is basically where we are engaging your core from the pelvic floor up, as if you're zipping a pair of jeans, okay? Nice and tight without getting your skin caught down low. So with every push-up, I want you to engage that energy from the core to come from the pelvic floor up, not the rib cage down, okay? I don't even know what number I'm on. We're going to do that last one. Whew, felt that. All right, okay, our next one is we're going to do some rows. Now, another thing I want to chat about today while we're here, and we're going to just make sure your pelvis and your chest are facing the same direction and that your back is flat, and we're going to bring it up. Engage that lower core. Feel that force coming from the pelvic floor up as you lift. This is 3, I think. 4, 5, 6. Exhale as you do the hard part. 7, 8. Wonderful. That should be kind of hard. That last one should be hard. Let's do the other side. I'm doing about a 25-pound weight here, but you're going to do what's challenging for you, but that you can do 8, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, awesome. So when you're doing those moves, making them core focus, like I can do that without engaging my core, all right? But if I do purposefully engage my core from the pelvic floor up, and while I'm doing it, I will feel that it's more challenging. I will feel it in my core, but you have to be purposeful about that, okay? So I want you to make sure that you're engaging your core, letting that power come from the inside, all right? And now we're going to do a pistol squat progression. For those of you who are here Monday, you know I'm working my way into a pistol squat, so let's go ahead and do that together. So I'm going to stay here at my chair, my 1 foot out. We're going to slowly lower. We're going to come back up slowly with control. Okay? Slowly lower and come back up. 3. Slowly lower with control. So great to get this one leg, get stability. It's great for the pelvic floor. Your pelvic floor is actually engaging when you're doing a move like this on one leg. I don't know what number I'm on. I think I'm on 5. But go nice and slow. You'll feel your lower core working with this as well. But you need strong glutes, strong single leg strength, especially if you want to get back into running without leaking and things like that. That's a great one. Let's do the other side now. Make sure you're breathing. You don't want to hold your breath through these moves because that can cause problems for your core and your pelvic floor. Keep it steady, nice and slow. So I wanted to also talk a little bit about how to know if you're doing the correct exercises for your deep core. You're wanting help with loose mommy tummy, back pain, leaking, or something of that nature, right? How do we know if we're doing the correct exercises? And I wanted to talk about that for a second too. All right, this last one it's not the last one. We're on Thursday. Okay, we are going to do some light plyo. We're going to do some jump squats now. This is something where you want to be strong enough for it, but you want to start challenging, again, your core and your pelvic floor to be able to handle jumps, okay? If you leak when you jump, what I want you to do, we're going to do a jump squat, but when you're trying to condition your pelvic floor to be able to do this, you got to start easy, all right? If you are leaking when you're doing an exercise, that means you're doing too much on your core, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go down into the squat, and if jumping causes leaking, come up on your toes and come down. Give your body that feeling of, I'm going to jump, so that your pelvic floor can, and give an exhale as you do that, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and jump and land lightly on the balls of my feet. I'm going to exhale as I jump to kind of prime my pelvic floor to engage, okay? But if you're not there yet, I want you just to come up on your toes and come down, okay? Exhale as you jump, prime that pelvic floor. Because doing Kegels all day is great, but a Kegel isn't a jump. So you're not training your pelvic floor jump if you're not making moves to jump. Does that make sense? My girl's working out with me over here. You want to come join me? You want to go over here? All right. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to, I have a side plank. Oh, okay, let's do that. I've been working on my own workout and upping my workout. So I'm looking at my printout that I have here. We're going to do a side plank, and you're going to do this at the level where you are. For those of you in my 8-week core challenge who are watching this, we're all at different places with our side plank. I'm going to do a full side plank, but you might be at a modified, okay? You might be up on a chair to elevate to make it easy. So wherever you are, that's where I want you to be, because you don't want it to be so challenging that you can't do the move, and you don't want it to be so easy where you're not getting progress. 2, I'm going to do 6 of these. 3, 4, exhale, 5, one more, 6. Ooh, I felt that, y'all. All right, let's do this other side. All right, I have some things I want to tell you, but I'm so focused on these workouts. I'll tell you as soon as we're done. We're going to do one set of these together, and then if you want to get more of a workout, you can do them all over again 2 more times to get 3 sets, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6. Woo! I feel that. All right. So that was one set of everything I'm going to do today. I'm going to do 2 more sets. If you want to do 2 more sets of those, it's a great total body core focus workout. You just want to make sure that you are actually using your core. You can do all those movements and not really use your core the way that you should, that would actually help with healing. Let me talk about that for a second, because I've talked about before the 4 C's to a strong core. To have a strong core, you have to go through these 4 C's. The first thing is you have to do the correct exercises. Second, you have to do them correctly. The third, you have to do them consistently. The fourth, you have to challenge yourself progressively. So you have to increasingly get harder with the workouts, but not so hard that you cause harm, okay? So if you're in my 8-week core challenge, you're watching this replay, like I know you guys love to do, I want you to know it's okay to be in the place that you're in. Make sure it's not too easy, but make sure it's not too hard. For my coaching clients, I'm working with you one-on-one, making sure that you're not going into that part where it's too hard, and causing issues, or that it's too easy and you're not actually going to get results. Okay. But today I want to talk for just a few seconds about that the first and second C, doing the correct exercises and doing them correctly. All right. So the correct exercise, we'll see. We might just talk about one today. We'll talk about, because sometimes it can get kind of long. But with that first C, doing the correct exercises, how do you know if you're doing the correct exercises? Okay. I talk about sit-ups aren't great for first beginners, V-sits and things like that. But how do you know what's the right exercise? Because the wrong exercise can cause issues. It can cause you to stretch out those deep core tissues even more. It can cause you to not get results and just kind of waste your time. Or it's not a waste of time because you're always learning. So I don't want you to feel badly about trying to do something. But here's something that I want you to have in your toolbox to know, okay, is this helping or hurting? Understand this, that the sit-ups are flexion. It's a flexion movement, right? Now that is working your six-pack muscles. Your six-pack muscles, what everybody loves as far as like having the washboard abs look, those six-pack muscles, it is a flexion muscle. It helps you bend. So when you bend, you are using your six-pack muscles. Now you should be using the other ones as well, but it's primarily your flexing, all right? Now you have your obliques. Those are twisting muscles, all right? Twisting muscles, they all overlap and do other things, but I'm talking about their primary movement. The primary movement is to twist. So if you're doing something like a bicycle, okay, those are your obliques. But I want you to make sure we are not neglecting the deep core muscle. Now, the deepest core muscle, the transverse abdominis, is a muscle that wraps around and looks like a waist trainer. And when you engage that muscle, it shrinks in like this, okay? That's what that muscle does, and that's why in my 8-week core challenge, I'm focusing more on those moves, because that's often the part of our core that is not intact. And that is why we have back pain, loose tummy, loose pelvic floor. That is because, oh, sorry about that, guys. My mic probably made a crazy noise. Okay, that is why we're having those issues, because the muscle that's supposed to be tight and supporting us like a waist trainer is loose and weak, and so we're getting dysfunction. Our intestines are kind of hanging out instead of up and supported. Our back is loose and easily, goes out on us because of that. Our pelvic floor is connected there as well, and that is leaking and having all these issues. So as you tighten that deep core muscle, you will start feeling, you will start getting resolution of all those dysfunctions so that we can be strong and do everything that we want to do. So how do you know when you're doing an exercise that is engaging that muscle? You should feel your muscles going in, okay? So like I said, if you're flexing, that is six-pack. If you're twisting, those are obliques. But if you're really working your deep core muscle, that move should shrink your tummy in. When you engage it, your tummy should come in, okay? And as I said it in the other parts there, we want that power to come from the bottom up. So we want to feel like we've been zipped up from the bottom up and our waistline is going in. That means you're engaging that muscle. Does that make sense? I hope that's making sense to you, so that when you do a move like a heel slide, okay, where you're doing this number and you're stretching your leg out to keep your hips stable and to keep this knee still, you have to bring your core in to maintain that stability. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling is I'm bringing my tummy in to maintain that stability. So that move I know is working for me because my waistline, I'm having to draw it in to stabilize myself. Does that make sense? I hope that's making sense for you. So correct exercise is going to work that deep core muscle that's going to help us to learn how to pull everything in. And if you're not sure still like what kind of exercises, that's what I have in my 8-week core challenge. You can put ready down in the comments and you can get some information about those exercises. But you see my exercises all over here. I give them out for free all the time. You see all kinds of Now, my 8-week core challenge is a proven system. I show you exactly how to challenge your core correctly. I cue you exactly. I'm talking you through the exercises and all that. So I just try to make it super easy for you to know how to follow. But I'm telling you that you want to do the correct exercises and you want to do them correctly. So like even how I was showing you, like when we're doing that row, and I've got the weight here, and I'm pulling it up. Now I can pull it up and leave my abs checked out. I can leave my deep core checked out. Okay, that's how people often pull their back. Okay, but let's say I'm going to engage. I'm going to draw everything in nice and tight there with my zip movement. Some of you know about my zip, for a correct and core engagement. The zip move where I'm zipping up from the pelvis to the rib cage and I'm lifting. I have more power because I'm not just using my arm. I'm also using my core and it's supporting my back. It's supporting my abs. So you can do moves and you cannot do them correctly. You cannot engage your core, or you can engage your core and get so much more out of it. All right. I hope that's been helpful for you today. I will see you on Monday around 7 a.m. For those of you in my boot camp, in the 8-week core challenge or accountability group, finish the week strong, ladies. Okay? I want you to look over your week, see what's working, what's not working, and see what you want to carry into next week. Okay? I want you guys to remember that these little things that you're doing, every little bit that you're doing is adding up, and you are getting stronger every single day. And even if you do our 5-minute workout, you are getting stronger. All right, so keep pushing forward, and I'll see you next time. Bye.